Hello and welcome to episode 209 of Controller Club, the friendly face gaming space, a podcast where three friends from three continents share in one love, and that is video games. On today's show, Xbox has just got a bit more expensive, Nintendo pays its employees more, and we're going to make our GTA 6 wish lists ahead of that game's release. But before all that, my name is Kleinfeld, and alongside me today are two of my best friends in the whole wide gaming world. First, coming to us from across the pond, it is the digital art daredevil himself, Tom the Glue Drew, wearing a nice Wii U shirt. If you are listening to the podcast, head on over to YouTube to see that. I've got my Nintendo Store GameCube shirt on, so we are just a matching pair today. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing good, yeah. Wii U shirt and all. I'm also fresh off a couple more concerts this week once again. So I'll be talking about that later on the show. I guess I'm the Anthony Fantano of video game concert orchestra things now, I guess. So yeah, we'll hear more about that later in the show. And yeah, can't wait to talk about what we got up today, basically.
Tom Drew, the internet's busiest video game music nerd, as everybody says.
There you go.
Next up, it is journalist extraordinaire, the Australian abroad / the Canadian in training, Lauren Rouse. Lauren, what's going on?
Hello. I got nothing. I haven't been to any concerts. I haven't even really been playing any video games. I'm not the best video game podcast host at the moment.
Yeah, it's a weird time of year. We're coming off of Summer Games Fest. Releases are kind of a little thin. Just kind of like chill, and I'm okay with that. Early summer, hanging out, sitting in the sunshine, not really doing a lot. Well, let's get into video games because there is a lot to talk about. We'll start with the news as we always do. So, Tom Drew, give us that intro.
Is the news we choose? Yeah.
And we go right to you, Tom. Xbox raising their prices yet again.
Yep, Xbox is back in the news, and they're not going to stop. That's not going to stop anytime soon, I guess, because yeah, they've increased the prices of their hardware, and this is coming from Xbox Wire directly. So I'll read here: effective August 1st, 2026, we will be updating prices worldwide. That's we as in Xbox, not we as in Control Club. We wouldn't be doing that. We respect you as gamers. We would be trying to get this as cheap as possible. The price of Xbox consoles will increase by $100 US for 512 GB models and $150 US for 1 TB models. We'll also be sunsetting our 2 TB model. Just for reference, because they didn't actually put it in the press release itself, here's what that actually looks like. So the Xbox Series S 512 GB model is going from $400 to $500. The Xbox Series S 1 TB model is going from $450 to $600. The Xbox Series X 1 TB digital model is going from $600 to $749. And the Xbox Series X 1 TB with the disk drive is going from $650 to a whopping $800 US. Yeah, that's right. So they continue here saying, last October we increased Xbox console prices by $20 to $70 in the US. We hope to know that price increase would not be necessary, and we've spent the last several months working with suppliers on options. Unfortunately, console storage and memory prices have increased by more than 2.5 times, and we expect another doubling by the fall of 2027. The entire consumer electronics industry is struggling with the current components crisis, but the effects are particularly hard on consoles. Unlike phones, computers, speakers, and other consumer devices, consoles are typically not sold at a profit, but instead for less than they cost to make. So, yeah, after a massive kind of showing from the Steam machine last week at being way over $1,000 US, which kind of blew a lot of people's minds. Now Xbox is also getting on it and raising their prices too. This does seem to be like, GTA 6 is on the horizon. People are going to buy consoles no matter what. I'm guessing this is at least partially a move to be like, well, if they're going to buy the console, we might as well charge them more for it. But Lauren, I'll go right to you. Like, what do you think about this? And the next Xbox, Project Helix, has got to be $1,000 plus, right?
Yeah, it's grim, particularly because Xbox only it wasn't even a year ago that they raised console prices, and we've seen each of them, like Nintendo and Sony, also follow suit in that, which has, been a bit of a kick in the guts each time. But this is like not a small increase. This is at least in some cases like $150, like that US, which is just like crazy expensive for something that like hasn't actually increased in value. since it came out. Like, this is now a 6-year-old console at this point. I think the thing it signals to me is really what this next generation of consoles is going to be. I can't at this point see a world where they even release the next generation console like anytime soon, because how are they physically going to have the parts to sell enough? um like, if the crisis is this bad that they're now having to like increase the base consoles to this amount, I just can't see them coming out with a new console that's likely going to be even more demanding on like things, because this is what we want as gamers, right? We want more storage, we want faster processors, we want the better hardware, and that's the stuff that's the most expensive. So I just can't see them having a world in which this is ready to go theoretically next year. I agree. I think it will be expensive when Project Helix does eventually come, but I'm just like, I think they're going to have to push it back because, one, we can't afford it, and two, so then like no one would buy it anyway if no one can afford it, and then two, like literally where are the parts coming from? Like, there's everybody's scrabbling for the same pile, and if we're all trying to all release to compete with each other, everyone may as well just like call it quits for right now and just let this generation pan out.
This is the thing. I feel like, yeah, they like both Sony and Xbox seem like so intent on getting these next gen consoles out the door by that 2027 full like point. But I just really don't see that happening. Like you, it just seems unfeasible. Especially like, and it's a different case because it's a, I guess, a niche market. But with like the Steam Machine, like that's coming out, and surely like early adopters are going to pick it up. Like I think, you know, they're going to want to pick that up like at launch. But I just don't think that's going to last much more beyond that. And while Xbox and PlayStation probably have a lot more mass market appeal, I just don't see a lot of people making the jump if it is like that eye-watering of a price. Because even this at this point, like $800 is really like that's like a tough pill to swallow, especially for what you're getting at this point, like for the hardware itself. But Klein, what about you? What do you what do you make of the situation?
Well, I want to say congrats to anybody who bought an Xbox on launch day because it was probably one of the best investments that you've ever made. Like that's
Yeah.
it's crazy that we are living in a time where the day one price was the better deal. Like like that's I've seen all of these flyers and former ads going around over the last couple of weeks of GameCubes and PS3s and Game Boy Advances and N64s, and it's like, hey, like buy this PlayStation 3 5 years into the generation with 3 games and 2 controllers and the console, and it's like $299. It's like half the price of what it started at, and that's just not ever going to be the case. Maybe ever again. I don't know. There's been some commentary coming out over the last couple of days from people way more in the know than we are, but they've said that this isn't just a like a 1 to 2 year crisis. This is probably going to be a like 3 to 5 year crisis, if not longer. And so that's crazy to me. God forbid my PS5 ever bite the dust, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to shell out my like a kidney and my firstborn just to get a new console. It's nuts. I'll say right now that if you are humming and hawing about, do I need that new laptop? Do I need that new computer? Do I need that new phone? Like, it's kind of like real estate at this point. Like, today's the day to buy because it's going to be more expensive tomorrow. Um, which is just it's nuts. It is absolutely crazy, and everything else is getting more expensive at the same time. So it's just, gaming is going to become even more of a, I don't know, first class hobby than it already is.
This is also such a bad look for Xbox right now. Like, they're just coming off a series of critical misses, and to then add more fuel to the flames of like, and we're increasing the console prices again, like raising that barrier to entry again. I'm just like, I guess maybe they're trying to get everything out at once to be like, so that they can now rebound from it. But I'm just like, this is like, how, I don't think people can take any more hits. Like, how much damage are you doing to your brand at this point?
Well, I think the hits are going to keep coming. Like, judging from what we've heard in the last little bit with like the rumored studio closures and what do we know, like there's rumors that in the next couple of weeks, like the hammer's going to drop on a lot of stuff across the industry. And I think that this is just the new normal for at least the next little bit, which is just a massive bummer.
I mean, do we think
Yeah.
that Sony and Nintendo will follow suit? I mean, Nintendo's already
Yes.
kind of only recently announced their price rise. I can't remember when PlayStation did theirs. Was it last year? Or was it this year?
I think it was last year.
Yeah, I
Late
think
last
so.
year. Like fall time, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't too significant though. I think it was only like
No.
$50 or something.
Yeah.
But
Those prices will go up, and I will bet you dollars to donuts that this isn't even the last Xbox price raise that happens.
Yeah, I could probably see that. Like, I think it's feasible at this point. But yeah, I just feel like we're just getting into like a really I mean, we're already kind of in like this just insane time with the games industry. We didn't this isn't in like the official news docket this week, but like, we've also just had like Destiny 2 and Bungie's having like a bunch of layoffs this week, like basically
basically
half the
that entire
studios.
Destiny team is gone.
Yeah, and now like I guess it's full throttle with Marathon, but is that even going to be getting off the ground? And yeah, like you kind of alluded to, Klein, I'm sure we're going to be hearing about more studio closures from Xbox soon too. So just like yeah, we're really hitting like a fever pitch of like just this is just not sustainable anymore. Like I don't I understand like we are in a crisis in terms of like components and that sort of thing, but it just does seem like rather than investing in the ecosystems that like or the player base that they already have and like I don't know, just trying to onboard people is I guess it is like appealing to that like that whale money, I guess, of the people who are able to spend the money on it. But I don't know, like this is I just don't know what happens at this point. I don't know what happens to the games industry if this just keeps plowing on because like yeah, we just can't keep going in this direction. It just doesn't make any sense.
well, yeah, I mean, you would think that like if they're gonna raise console prices, you would at least try and entice people with having the software to play on them. But then if they go around closing all these studios, then what's left? Like, say that they theoretically do announce they're closing Arcane and there's no more Blade game. I'm like, well, that was one thing that I was super looking forward to. And now, say that that was an Xbox exclusive, I'm not buying an Xbox anymore. So it's like, the math doesn't math. It's like it's very cruel business math.
Yeah. Another depressing story after weeks of depressing stories, and I don't think that it's going to be ending anytime soon. But we just got to keep playing the things that, celebrating the things that we can, playing small indies, supporting the studios that are doing cool things. Yeah, it's a huge bummer. But we do have a bit of good news on the news this week. Nintendo is raising employees' base salaries, guys. This is not like a massive news story, but I think that it's worth celebrating and worth bringing up because we are in a time of all these layoffs and all of this craziness. This is coming from Robert DeFelice at Insider Gaming. He writes, Nintendo has increased the base salary of its employees. Nintendo's recently been increasing prices in hardware. In Japan, the company has even had to raise prices for the Nintendo Switch Online subscription service. However, the company is taking steps to retain employees as well. During a recent Q&A session at the 2026 Nintendo shareholders meeting, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa was asked about employees not having a union and revealed that the company had increased base salaries by 10% to retain employees. We are maintaining salaries at an appropriate level. I believe it is important to keep compensation levels appropriate, he said, according to a translation by NS Styles on social media. Quote, we are implementing salary increases such as raising the base salary by 10%, end quote. The positive news for employees of the gaming stalwart come at a time of great turbulence for many in the gaming industry. New data shows that hardware sales for both Sony's PlayStation and Microsoft Xbox have fallen. Many studios are announcing layoffs, and Xbox recently announced another price increase for its hardware. I don't know, like I don't really have some big question for you guys here. I just wanted to bring it up because it is interesting to see that yes, even Nintendo is raising their prices across the board, but they are trying to keep people employed. They are raising people's salaries up. I know that the thing that keeps getting brought up in all this time of turmoil and all these layoffs and studio closures and price increases was about a decade ago or so, when Nintendo was very much in a time of almost where Xbox is right now, a time of big question during the Wii U Are they going to survive? Do they have enough money to survive? And what does their C-suite do? They take pay cuts. No one else takes pay cuts. The executives take pay cuts, and they survive and make it through to the Switch. So this is, I don't want a good guy Nintendo, because it is ultimately a corporation, but it is nice to see that they are doing something as the world gets more and more expensive around its employees.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in terms of like, the Japanese economy is not doing great at the moment. So it's good that at least like they are trying to help their employees as much as they're able to. Yeah, it's I wish there was more of this like going around in the games industry of actually like valuing employees and devs and that sort of thing. The people that actually make the games, so you can continue making the games. Yeah, it's a shame that this isn't kind of, I guess, the bare minimum, essentially. Whereas elsewhere in the world, it is just kind of like layoff after layoff. And like, granted, you know, the cost of an employee in Japan, like the development cycle for like developing a game in Japan, isn't as expensive as doing so in, say, like California, for example, or Seattle, or these like other places where big like gaming hubs are, and big developers are. But it's still, it's good that they are taking the steps, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, is Nintendo the only company or studio at this point that hasn't gone through layoffs? At least that we've heard about. Like they're actually doing the complete opposite.
Yeah, I think like in terms of like layoffs, I don't think we've heard any like massive ones other than maybe some like Nintendo of America ones. I know it's like there is a kind of like law or clause like in Japan where like it is harder to like lay off employees, from what I understand. So I think that does play into it. But again, like they are doing it, like they are still like, I think there is a way to do it, but they are choosing to retain them and try to foster that as much as possible. So that's like at least some kind of positive, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's also like 10% is such a huge increase. Like having worked for in corporations in my own life and like fought for pay rises, like you're lucky to get 2% year on year. So like this is like 5 times that amount. It's like a significant reason. Like Nintendo is like fighting for their employees, which is really nice to see because it's usually the other way around. It's like, corporations are like, what are you doing for me versus, what can we do for you? So that's really nice. But also like Japanese culture, like the way their work ethic is very, very different to the West. And that they've sort of got a lot of things figured out. Like Nintendo is just constantly pushing out like things that sell. They're constantly pushing out games. Like their development cycle is nowhere near what we're seeing from some of these American companies. Like even with Capcom, a different company, we were even saying like, how the hell are they doing this? Like pushing out like Resident Evil games every like 6 months at this point, and Pragmata and Onimusha. Like it's just there's something in the water over there. They've got it figured out, and it's like it would be really nice if everyone else sort of looks to them as an example.
Yep, it's nice to see some positivity coming out of them, and it's nice to see like they are coming off a generation where they kicked butt. Like the Switch 1 really, really knocked it out of the park. And I know that in a lot of places of the world, you would see the upper class of Nintendo kind of take that money and run and give themselves absorbent bonuses and handouts and go, yeah, look at us, our stock price is at an all-time high. But I do think that in one way or another, this is, yes, they want to retain these employees, but this is that trickle down. Like I do actively believe that they are trying to, okay, like we saw success, like I think we should all celebrate in that. Obviously, as you mentioned, Tom, like it is cheaper to employ people in Japan. Like base salaries in general over there are significantly lower than they are in the West, but still 10% is 10%. Like that is a large bump to be getting. And it's exciting to see. These games continue to sell. There's updated sales information up there from Nintendo over the last couple of that's come out over the last couple of weeks. Mario Kart World, which kind of came out and was, I want to say middling. People really liked it, but it wasn't Mario Kart 8 by any means. Few million units already sold on the Nintendo Switch. Like there's Nintendo Switch 2. Like these games are still selling, and that's the one thing that I think you kind of brought it up during the Xbox conversation, Lauren. That's one thing that Nintendo can lean on is as things in the world get more and more expensive, they still have games that people need to go to Nintendo consoles to play. If I'm an Xbox gamer, a lot of those games, if the games come out at all, can be played on PC. Can in some cases be played on PlayStation. PlayStation has kind of reverted course, and a lot of their games that were coming to PC are no longer coming to PC. But with Nintendo, like that's the only place you can get those experiences, and those experiences continue to be worth owning a console for, and so that's why they're still seeing the financial success. And they're also not necessarily pushing the technical envelope as like far as some of these other companies are.
It's also notable that like I think it came out this week that Nintendo Switch 2 is apparently already outsold the lifetime sales of the base PS5 in Japan. And obviously like the culture of Japan is I feel like it's very biased towards Nintendo, and Nintendo just seems to do very well over there. But I think it's just
But so
it is
does
like
PlayStation. Like
so does
it's not, you're
PlayStation
not
as well.
comparing it to
Yeah.
Xbox.
That's the thing. Yeah, so it's kind of staggering that they are able to just, I don't know, like really excel in what they've been doing. And yeah, hopefully they keep it up, and this is a worthy generation of like putting out great content for Switch 2 going forward, really.
Lauren, do you want to get into your story?
I think we'll talk about it in the main topic. So if we want to move on to that.
Okay, let's do that. So let's get out of the news we choose. Tom Drew, give us that outro.
It's the news we choose. Yeah.
Yes, and we will be diving into now Grand Theft Auto 6. Pre-orders are up. We know how much this thing is going to cost. You can go and to your store of choosing and put your money down now if you'd like. So we thought it'd be fun to do a bit of a GTA 6 wish list as we are coming closer to the release of what could potentially be a once in a handful of generation style game, because we didn't really get a GTA game last year or last generation, and potentially the biggest entertainment launch of all time, which I think is absolutely nuts to hear. I've heard numbers getting thrown around of pre-orders that the numbers so far are in the billions of dollars, not the millions of dollars already, which is crazy. But before we get to that, Lauren, you had written down here you want to get into the GTA 6 pre-orders with your news story for the week. So take it away.
Yeah, I just kind of want to lay the groundwork here because we have been sort of covering steadily all the GTA 6 like leaks and rumors in the lead up to this, so it's only fair that we actually cover news now that it's out, now that we actually have something. But yeah, obviously Rockstar announced this past week GTA 6 is up for pre-order. We're getting it on November 19, and we finally know the price, which has been the subject of much speculation from everybody over the past, I guess, not 13 years, but that's how long it's been. And we do know that it is more expensive. So I'll just run over. We have two different types of GTA 6 editions you can buy. The standard edition, which is like the base game, and I think everybody gets some sort of vintage cosmetic pack with it if you pre-order. And there's also an ultimate edition, which comes with all these extra things that I'll get into. But basically, the standard edition is coming in at $79.99 US dollars, which is $109.99 Canadian, $129.99 Australian, and $69.99 pounds. And the Ultimate Edition is 99 US dollars, which is 139 Canadian, 159 Australian, and 89 pounds. So this is what I think at least $10 more expensive than the standard. What is the standard?
It's $69.99 is standard right
US?
now.
Right.
US, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little pricier as we kind of all expected. Obviously, this is going to be like the biggest video game launch, like you said, Klein, probably that we've seen in a really long time. So they were going to make money regardless. But if anybody was going to raise their prices to sort of like pay back the value of what the game is going to get, it was going to be GTA 6. And now we will see how the industry reacts, if other people follow suit, or what this means for game prices going forward. I also want to touch on the Ultimate Edition. It includes a bunch of like digital content. You can get, I think, different weapon customizations, different costumes, different access to like personalized shops in the game, it seems, that you won't be able to have access to unless you buy the Ultimate Edition. And that is coming in at $20 more expensive for all that. And then the last thing is, of course, that there are physical editions of GTA 6, but that they are not shipping with a disc in the box. They are shipping with a piece of paper with a code, it seems. And people are not happy about this. But let's get into it. What do you guys think about the price, the different editions, and maybe what your thoughts are on this physical versus digital? Which one are you going to be doing if you're going to be doing it at all?
I mean, I think for me, in terms of the price, I feel like, to be honest, I was always gonna say like, and I guess technically it is basically $100 US. I was always like saying like, oh, it's gonna be these $100. So the fact that there is a standard edition that isn't that, I think, is kind of surprising. I am actually kind of surprised about that. So I think the price kind of makes sense what they're doing here. Like, yeah, like $80 kind of, it just, yeah, it makes sense to me. Obviously with the Ultimate Edition, it has these like cosmetic stuff, and like to a lot of people, I think that's not really gonna matter. To me, I feel like I'm kind of a sucker for this kind of thing. Like I like customizing my characters.
Mm.
I like having cool stuff. So I, in my head, I was already like, if it's gonna be £100, I'm gonna buy it anyway. And it's less than £100. It's like 90. So I think I actually might end up buying the bullet and getting Ultimate Edition, which is kind of crazy to say. Um, but yeah, the physical situation is interesting. I think a lot of people have kind of said like, not to excuse them, but this is probably a way of preventing leaks. Like people, a lot of games have like released on disc and have just been like completely streamed on Twitch, like Last of Us Part Two. Like that was one example. So I think Rockstar really wants this launch to go as smoothly as it can, and foregoing discs at launch, I think, is one way of doing that. I have to imagine, like after a couple of months, maybe even before Christmas, we might see like a proper physical edition with a disc, that people can go out and buy. But yeah, it does kind of suck. Like I would have liked a disc at this point. I feel like it really is just a digital launch. At this case, and like I probably will just get the digital version because like there's no point of me buying like a case and then there's nothing in it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting with GTA 6 at the moment.
There was a bit of discourse about, yeah, the whole disc situation because apparently there was this memo from Rockstar that sort of made it seem like there would be a physical copy coming in the following months after launch, but then that was a little bit misconstrued. Like I think it was Hollywood Reporter
Yeah.
or someone who ended up asking them, and they're like, "No, we have no plans for this at this time." So yeah, I think anyone who's sort of like holding out hope that they could just wait a few weeks and then buy a physical edition if they wanted to, I don't think that's going to happen. It would be weird, but potentially GTA 6 just never comes out on disc. I mean, PC games have been doing this forever. You go buy a case from EB Games and there's just a piece of paper in it with a code. It seems kind of silly, but maybe that's kind of the future because the other thing is we don't know how big the game is, but it's going to be big. It's going to be bigger than one disc. They did a 2 disc launch for Red Dead Redemption 2, so there is precedent for sure. But maybe it's bigger than that. What if it was 3 discs and then like you're out? Like how much does that cost, like to package and ship that and those kinds of things? So yeah, it's frustrating as somebody who would have liked a physical edition, particularly like I said with the GTA 5 one coming with the map, and that was kind of cool, and people really like that collectible stuff. But yeah, I don't see the point in going and just like buying an empty case. Like it's just a waste of plastic in my mind. Just sell it as a piece of cardboard. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Klein? Are you gonna go either way on the standard or the ultimate?
I think I'm gonna go with the ultimate just because I'm kind of in the camp of Tom where I was ready to spend what would be the equivalent of $100 American on this already. And this is, as I said, like this is a once in a generation kind of game. Like I think that I want to get the ultimate edition. I want access to all of these like storefronts that potentially could be hidden away behind the ultimate edition. I'm kind of surprised that they only went up to 80. I think that that kind of sets the mark for where the industry may go overall. Like if GTA is only going up to 80, I think that $100 mark is still like businesses are scared of getting too close to that.
Yeah.
And if GTA won't do it, no one else is going to do it. But I've seen some commentary kind of going both ways, where this could completely reset the market. Where okay, GTA did it, now everyone's going to go up to 80, but then it could also go the other way, where businesses are looking and going, oh, like if GTA went there, our game's not as big as that. Can we even get close? Like, can we justify getting close to that? So, because the only games really so far that we've had at $80 are Mario Kart World, and then Outer Wilds 2, and then they backed off on that. Same with Borderlands 4 was going to be 80, and they backed off on it. So there's only been, I think it might just be Mario Kart at this point.
I'm trying to remember if
So
Procopio was that much as well.
it might be. So that to me is like this is a big moment. I'm just excited. Like, it feels so real now. It's actually happening. I think that this is going to be a fun experience, whether you like GTA 6 or GTA the franchise at all or not. I heard, who was it? Justin Davis from IGN, I think, was talking about that this is really like one of the only times we've ever seen with art where this is the highest, like the a game, a piece of art, whether it be movie, music, video game, whatever, that was made without, like, seemingly without budget constraints at all, like kind of unlimited budget, unlimited time. They've kind of just taken forever to do it. And now we get to see what that actually looks like. Like, that's never really happened before. There hasn't really been like Avatar 4 or Avatar 3 or whatever still had like Disney looking down at it going, okay, but I'm pretty sure like Take Two looking at Rockstar were kind of like, it's gonna make it back. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think it's interesting though, saying that like it's interesting that he says like we're gonna see what they've been working on and spend all the time on, but we haven't seen anything. Like, we got a couple like screenshots with this like
No.
Ultimate Edition. There was no trailer. Like, a lot of people were thinking like, so does that like surprise you guys at all that we're not getting this, or is this all part of the strategy where it's like, okay, we do pre-orders now and then trailer comes later?
Well, hang on. Can I just say something? What is the point of having pre-orders at this point? It's a freaking digital copy. I can buy it the day before. They're not going to
I said
sell
this
out.
last week.
Like, yeah, I think it's crazy. I'm like, oh, I'll just pre-order it the day before. I think they have said that if you go from like November 12th, there will be preload. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll do it then. But it's just crazy to me that they've made this big song and dance about pre-orders, and it's like, but there's no physical edition. So what's the
strategy
point?
is you wait for reviews, you see the reviews drop, you buy it, you preload it, it's ready to go. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe people just want some reassurance. They're like, hey, it's coming. I think this is the biggest thing, that they're like, this is coming on November 19th now.
Yeah.
Can't escape it. But what was the question? Sorry, Tom.
Just like are you surprised there's no trailer yet?
Trailer.
Like, yeah.
I am a little bit. I really thought that they would drop gameplay to promote pre-orders, but then I looked at some stuff, and apparently like Rockstar didn't even do that for like Red Dead or GTA 5. Like, they waited a week or two. So I still think there's a chance. Like, I think we should be on trailer watch. I think it will come in the next couple of weeks, maybe. Like, it will definitely be one at some point. We have to know what's in the game.
Right?
But
do
Surely.
I think we do.
What like, I mean, I agree with you, but I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, do we need to see what's in the game? Like, it's making literally billions of dollars at this point already. Like, I don't know I think they could, if they wanted to. They have 2 trailers out. They could just go silent and do like a launch day trailer, and that's it.
I never underestimate how much a corporation wants to make money. They have all these people out there who know what they're going to buy at day one. They still need to appeal to the people who are on the fence. So they need to show
I don't
what's
know
in
if
the
there
game.
are people on the fence.
There are people on the fence.
I don't know I don't know. I like because Climber mentioned reviews. Do they just skip reviews? I think they could.
What I think they're gonna do for reviews, I've been really like, and I know nothing. I do know that like there's conversations happening way in emails somewhere in places, but I think what will end up happening is no one's gonna get a review copy, but they're going to fly out, let's say like 20 outlets or 20 people from outlets, YouTube channels, whatever, to a location, lock them in a hotel for a week, and this is your review period.
Yeah. They can't. I don't think there'll be review copies because they can't afford the leaks. So it'll be that, or it'll be like everybody gets it on the same day, and then your reviews come out in a week or something like that. It's
Yeah.
an in progress review, which they've done, I think, for quite a few things recently. That they just didn't give review codes for, so people have just been reviewing it at the same time as everyone else. There will be a trailer though. There will be.
I agree with you, but I just like as a thought exercise.
It would be really funny.
Like,
it would be really funny if they didn't do one.
Like,
Okay,
this is the most mass market, probably video game product ever. Like GTA 5 was that, and this is that times 4 million. Like the anticipation, the amount of time. GTA 5 is has sold oodles and oodles and oodles. I saw a number going around the other day that's the most what do you call it? Used purchased game of all time.
It's also the most stolen game.
Yeah, incredible. There's a lot of pirating. I saw a number that I think it was one of the EB games somewhere in Toronto had sold. The number was in the hundreds of thousands of copies of just used GTA 5s.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is like a single store, which is nuts. Like, that's absolutely
People
insane.
are getting rid of it as well, you see.
They're getting rid of it, but I don't know. Like, at this point, I've bought in GTA 5, PS3. I've bought it 3 times. PS3, PS4, and PS5.
Damn, that's crazy.
Why did you buy it again on PS5?
Because it was $15 if you had PS4. If you had the PS4 edition. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
They're not going to miss out on an opportunity to make this bigger than it is. We are very ingrained in the conversation. Not everybody is. So they will be putting this on billboards. They will be doing events. Probably they'll book out the entire state of Florida to promote this thing.
We need the iconic Rockstar 10-minute welcome to the world of GTA 6.
Yeah.
I think that will happen.
We're going to get one of those. It's just a matter of when. But we have gotten 2 trailers so far. So I don't it could be in a couple weeks. I could also see it being in August or the September. Wait even further. They had their beat here. It got people talking. Mm-hmm. People are pre-ordering.
Yeah. That's the thing. They don't need to do it all at once, a shotgun everything. I feel like it's a similar, I guess it's not a weird comparison, but similar.
If there's anything that this company has taught us, it is that they do not need to do it all at once. Think about the marketing beats of this game so far. It's a trailer here, 2 years or 18 months later, another trailer, and then pre-orders another year later.
That's the thing. It's crazy. They can just do that. But yeah, I think honestly, August kind of could make sense at this point for me. I think they can really push it as close as they need to up to release if they want.
It will come out on a random day when none of us are expecting it because they don't want it to leak like it did the first time.
Exactly.
Yep, 100%. But let's stay on the topic of GTA 6 and get into some of our wish list items. Now that we do know that it's coming and we haven't seen another trailer, I want to talk about the things that maybe we want to see as we get into this experience. I know for the two of you, Tom, you've dabbled in the GTA world before, Lauren less so, but this will be both of yours first proper GTA experience. No, Lauren, you have a lot of Rockstar history with the Red Dead series, but what are we wanting to see out of this game? Is there anything top of mind that you guys really, really are itching for when it comes to jumping into the world of GTA 6?
I mean, the big thing for me, and this goes all the way back to when I would play Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. It's really cool to have a big open map that you can explore and drive around in, or in the case of Spider-Man, swing around in, or fly around in, or whatever. But I always wanted, and there were glimpses of this in Spider-Man 2 where you could go inside a building and you could see inside a comic shop or something. I really hope that I'm not gonna say every single building because I just don't know how realistic that is. But I want a lot of the buildings to be explorable in their interiors. I want to be able to go into a shop, go into a supermarket, I don't know, pick up an apple, throw it at someone. I want to be able to I just want the kind of level of detail to extend, not just so everything's just kind of a backdrop, I guess. I want to be able to actually interact with the world in that way and see hidden details and I don't know, go into an office building and like see what people are doing at work that day, like go into someone's house. I don't know. I just think like obviously we have a lot of games that you can do that in interiors, but like with an open world game, sometimes that is like that can vary in terms of like how much you're able to do that. So my big hope, and I would say my biggest hope is that you are able to get like that interior kind of experience.
That really feels like the next level, like the next step for
Yeah.
this franchise. Like Red Dead 2, almost every building interior you could explore. Obviously, those are like that's apples and oranges. You are
Yeah.
walking into these like smaller frontier towns that have like 5 or 6 buildings. You're not walking into full on city skyscrapers. GTA 5 had a few, but it definitely wasn't like walk into every one of them. And I think like I'm kind of in the same bucket as you, Tom. Like I really would, the big thing for me is with these games, they've always been a fun playground, but they've never felt like a living, breathing world. Red Dead Redemption 2 was the first time a Rockstar game for me really felt like a full-on living, breathing world where people had agendas and schedules, and everybody had their own little story that they were going on. It was a matter of were you going to interact with them or not. And that's what I kind of want to see brought over here is like, let me go into a building, let me see this person go into work and work their day and walk home or go out for lunch or do whatever. Like the dream of that like Witcher 4 demo from a couple of years ago where it was like, oh, you
Yeah.
can interrupt people's schedules and these kind of natural story things will happen. Like the best parts about Grand Theft Auto for me has been those like the stories you make rather than the stories that they tell. Like this, the campaigns are always fun and they're like playing a Martin Scorsese movie and it's always a blast. But it's the like, oh, and then I went and jumped on a train and did this crazy thing and blah 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 blah. And I think Red Dead Redemption 2 did a great job of putting some of that in there, but bringing that over to GTA to this franchise, I think for me is like that's the biggest one. Like that's my biggest like how deep is this going to go? Because that really just feels like the next natural step. And if they can nail that, like then it's like, oh, this is no longer just like a toy box that I'm playing around in. This is a world that I'm living in.
Yeah, I think like Red Dead Redemption 2 really set sort of the bar for me. And if they can just build on that, like I'll definitely be very happy. And I, similar to you guys, really want that kind of immersive experience. But I think even more so, I want it to particularly apply to like me as the player, like me as my character. I can't, like, I mean, I love life sims. I want to be able to like go out, do a job, receive money, and then like be able to choose how to spend that money meaningfully in the game. Like, can I go and buy a new outfit? Can I go into the supermarket and pick, hey, I want apples and I want this, and actually apples will buff this for me and this will do this for me. Like I want it that level of detail where it's like I'm not just like buying food, I'm buying something that is like going to be meaningful for like this job that I need to undertake or this mission. Or I know that in the Ultimate Edition has revealed a few little clues. Like there seems to be a tattoo parlor. I love that idea of like going in and like picking a tattoo and then like that's going to be on my character for the entirety of the game. Like that level of detail is something that I'm definitely really looking for, like particularly in terms of those sorts of life sim elements. And I think Red Dead Redemption did have like a really great level of that where once you did start gaining a reputation and getting money, you could come back and upgrade your camp and you could walk into shops and buy, like look at the shelves and pick exactly what you want. And it's such a mundane activity, but for some reason like doing it in a game, I suppose because it's like you're doing things that wouldn't be possible in real life, so it's like that is that wish fulfillment element. But that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. I want to see what kinds of like how far they go in terms of like you being a living, breathing character in this like equally immersive world.
Especially
Yeah.
coming off of what we saw with GTA 5, where yeah, GTA 5 comes out and has there's bits of that in there. You can go, you can take Trevor to get a haircut, you can do like change their hairstyle, change their clothes, add tattoos, but then the community takes it, especially when it comes to the PC, and mods the heck out of it. And what have we seen in the last like 6 years, really the pandemic like kickstarted this, was those role playing, the GTA 5 role play servers where
Yeah.
they are adding a bunch of custom stuff. Like the community is adding all of these things into GTA 5 and making these living, breathing, persistent worlds with a lot of people in them. There's no way Rockstar wasn't looking at all of that and taking it into consideration when making this game. Like, sure, we're not going to be in I mean, I don't know, but we're not going to be in a big MMO level space as we're making our way through this single player adventure. They have been very clear that this is a single player adventure first, and then there will potentially be online pasted onto that, but can we bring some of those role-playing elements and bring them in-house to Rockstar and put it into the single player adventure? And you know what? If you want to also implement that in online and have Rockstar backed role-playing servers, do that as well. But that kind of feels like the end goal of what this kind of GTA mission was. Yes, it's this funny, sarcastic, like commentary on American life, but it's this sandbox that people just want to live in and experience. And that's kind of what, with a lot of games over the past like forever, people have been itching for. They want that. Like, why is World of Warcraft so popular? Because people can go and like feel like they're in this living and breathing world. Why are games like Skyrim so popular? Something like Cyberpunk, even the GTA games. But can this take that to the like nth degree? And really, really, like Rockstar, as we said, they had unlimited money, they had unlimited time, they can do really whatever they want in this game. It's just a matter of, can the tech out there get them to that point? And I think it can. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we see in this that it really does feel like, oh, this feels like a more natural living space that I am a part of, rather than like I am the player character and everyone else is like these like toys for me to poke around at.
Yeah, I remember in Red Dead 2, it was like always a wild feature that, like your character would, as time progressed, real world in the game, his hair would grow longer, his beard would grow longer, you could go and like get a haircut. Like that always felt like meaningful whenever you were doing it. It wasn't just like, I'm going to switch up my hairstyle. It was like, no, it's
You
because
had
it's
to
growing out
bath.
and I don't like it. Yep, had to brush your horse to build a relationship with it, all of that sort of stuff. And I don't know if this was in the leaks or if it was just a rumor or if this is just something that people have requested, but I feel like there was something that's like you can go to the gym and like if you work out that will actually like build up your level of strength for a job. I'm not sure if that was true or not, but that sounds really cool. Like doing sort of everyday activities that will impact what you do in the actual missions. Like, okay, if you're going to the gym every single day, you maybe build up an extra level of strength that you wouldn't have had if you didn't go to the gym, or maybe you do running and actually you can run faster. Like that stuff all sounds really cool to me. And like it's a huge amount of detail, but they've had 13 years to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. And that's all
Yeah.
stuff they've toyed around with. Like San Andreas years ago had a thing where like if you ate too much, CJ, the main character, he got fatter, and like you could go to the
Right.
gym and work it off. And even in GTA 5, like the act of running, the act of shooting, the act of driving, you got better at that thing. Your character, you would now have better control with the gun. You would now have better control with the car. It was a very like understated part of that game, but it was a part of that game.
Yeah, I think adding to the whole life sim thing, I think it would be cool. And like sim to your point about like GTA RP, Klein, like in that people are like, oh, I'm gonna be like the mayor, or I'm gonna be like a taxi driver, or I'm gonna like do this in this world. I think it'd be cool if they could integrate some kind of like job path system, maybe where it's like, okay, I can go off and I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of like I do like these life simulator like elements or like just games where it's like you are just running a shop or like you're running like like a trading card shop or stuff like that. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool if you could do those sorts of things. Where it's like, okay, I'm going to open a business and like there's like paths you can take to like earn money or like that gets you certain like perks or that sort of thing. Yeah, just really amp up the ability to like live in this world as much as possible. It really does feel like we're just like trying to escape our real lives and like live in these in GTA 6. But I think that's fine. I think that could be fun.
I think that's what makes these games special, though, is like the GTA is ultimately like, yeah, it is our everyday world, but like you get to do the things that you get to do the worst possible things that as a human we would never in real life. Like I'm not going to hold up a convenience store in real life, but like in this game, it's this ultimate kind of power fantasy. And it's also very silly. Other things that we're looking forward to, excited about, something that I think that these games always do really well is like feeling very in the moment. And I know that there's been a lot of conversation about like how do you satirize the world in its current state because it's already like so ridiculous. But one direction I think that they could really lean into is like content creation, and specifically like when it comes to like TikToks and things like that. Like something I think would be really cool in this game is, can I have a like, even in the single player, is there like a player created like social feed sort of thing where people are making cool clips, making cool like little like machinima style videos, putting them there, and like I can scroll through them. I don't want to sit and like scroll on TikTok in GTA 6, but that's kind of what I'm pitching here.
Can you imagine?
Like I think that could be a lot of fun, and could like spawn this whole other like creator community that already really exists for GTA. Like think of the millions of videos of GTA 5
Mhm.
stunts and Mythbusters in GTA 5 and all these crazy moments in GTA 5, like bringing that in-house I think could be really cool. And we did in that initial trailer, there was those moments where I'm just thinking back to like the lady poking the crocodile and like it going to these other like crazy moments. Like it feels like that's where they're going already. But I don't know what you guys think about that.
Oh yeah, I definitely think that was all intentional. I think that was a big hint
Yeah.
about what we're going to be getting in the game is this new social media age. I think I like your idea, Klein, but potentially like seeing the feed, but you're seeing what your friends are up to. And like you can create things and then like put it on a feed and you've added friends. But I think that's something that will come when they do maybe eventually add multiplayer, because obviously that's not something you can really facilitate too much in a single player game. But I think one thing that we might see, which I think would be cool, is like using social media in terms of like your reputation. So like in Red Dead Redemption, you have like a reputation to uphold. Are you wanted, or are you like a good person? Are you a hero to the town or whatever? And I think in a similar way they can use social media to do that in GTA 6, where it's like, hey, you posted this thing. Someone caught you on camera doing this thing. Hey, the police saw it. Now they're coming after you, kind of thing. Like I think that could be a way. But then like, oh, maybe these people saw it and they're like, that's really cool. Come to our party. Like I think there's so many possibilities, and I just really feel like that's definitely what they're going to be doing, is incorporating that kind of online social media vibe in this game.
GTA 6 is going to be the first AAA game where you can do an apology video. And that's going to be a core gameplay mechanic.
Yeah,
Mark
you
my
have to hire a
words.
publicist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just like really excited to see what they do, even like mission story wise with that kind of stuff too. Like I think back to like GTA
Yeah.
5, where yeah, it was this like very Martin Scorsese style heist thing, but there were missions where it's like, oh, you're going to like basically I think you end up murdering him, but like their version of like the Facebook tech
Oh,
CEO
sure.
to to tank the stock that you've now invested in. You get a bunch of money that way. Like I'm just thinking of like moments like that where they're going to completely play on just the conversation that's going on right now with social media, with all the stuff pulled straight from the headlines. Like that's what GTA does best. And I do think that even though in this time that we live in, that everything is so ridiculous and the world's falling apart, there is still a place, there are ways, there are angles, if you're clever enough to get in there and still make it feel like funny.
Yeah, definitely. And I think even just like from a like going back to the UGC like kind of element of it, I think games like, or even just games like GTA 5, like you've mentioned, but like games like Helldivers 2 and Arc Raiders and that sort of thing have like really thrived in terms of these like I guess like clippable moments. So integrating like a social media like feature into this game seems ready made to like spur on the excitement around GTA 6 even more so. And I think it would just be really smart if they do decide to go that way. I feel like it, like you guys have said, I think it is probably leaning that direction. Like you say, Klein, I don't know if I want to be like just I boot up GTA 6. I'm like, well, time to scroll reels. Time to do my daily scroll. I've
I do
done
that
enough
enough
now,
in my living
but
room as it is.
Truly.
that's the thing. But I think it's smart to do something along those lines and make that sort of the commentary this time.
Also, another thing, like I'm excited to go back to Florida. I think that's a big I haven't played Vice City, but I know that people love the Vice City game, even though like that takes place in the 80s. This seems to be modern day. But something that Florida has that we got tastes of in GTA 5. I think that Red Dead Redemption 2 did this really well, obviously, because you're in the frontier, is the wildlife. Like Florida has just like they've got crocodiles or no alligators. I forget which one.
Gators.
Gators and all sorts of like there's all like ocean life and all sorts of stuff like that. Let me have fun with those. Bring in some of that Far Cry, bring in some of that Red Dead Redemption 2, and have these natural moments where I'm driving along in the middle of the bayou and oh no, now I've got like a gator attacking my like boat or whatever. And I've got to deal with that. Like I think that could be a lot of fun because it isn't just going to be cityscape. Like something that these games do really well is adding those surrounding areas. I just think of like Mount Chiliad in GTA 5 where it's like you're out in the desert and it's just such a big varied environment. So what's this environment going to look like with the Florida coast, with the big city, but then also getting down to the swamps, getting down to the bayou, going down to the Florida Keys, where it's just like wide open ocean and these tiny little like sparse islands. I think this is going to be the biggest GTA world, and it's going to be full of just like wildlife and things to interact with.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I want to see like what kind of weird shit that they can just throw into the game. Like what, like Florida's a strange place. Like what kind of weird things can we get up to? Like obviously there will be things like going through the bayou and seeing the gators and going on jet skis and doing all those sort of adventure things and being on yachts and feeling like we're the glitz and glamour and we're the coolest. And I look forward to that. But I'm also like, what are some of the like sort of niche, exciting like things? Like I mean, so like fishing was a big thing in Red Dead Redemption 2, and most games have a fishing mini game, but in this one I'm like, is there some sort of equivalent to that, like that weird little side quests that you can get up to? In particular, it's like I really want to see them do Disney World. Like that's in Florida.
Oh,
God, I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even think about that. That would be awesome.
Can you imagine?
They would do like they would come up with some weird name or whatever, but like
Yeah.
I mean, if someone's going to do it, they would do it. But like, can you realistically have like a game where you could walk in and like murder a bunch
stand
of
in the
people?
queue.
Yeah.
Go on a little roller coaster ride.
Go stand in the queue, scroll on your GTA 6 reels. Jeez.
Make friends in the line.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I think that would be so cool if they did that.
Do you think they would? Like, do you think there will be, like, percentage-wise, is there a Disneyland or Disney World equivalent in this game?
I mean, like Orlando and Miami are not exactly close.
Yeah.
But I think it could be.
But they jam it all together. Like,
yeah, I think it would be fun. I think that there could be a theme park element. I don't know if it'll be as huge and as immersive as like Disneyland, but I think that they could chuck a theme park in there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That didn't even cross my mind, but I think that'd be a lot of fun. The one thing that did cross my mind though is that like there's a lot of wildlife and weird stuff like you say in Florida. But I have to imagine they're going to do some kind of play on the the whole Florida man thing.
Oh yeah, there's going to be all sorts of crazy people.
All sorts of Florida, but it's like I'm sure there's gonna be a side quest was like either there's one Florida, like a single Florida man committing all these horrible things, or like multiple people like under the mantle of Florida man. I think they're gonna have a lot of fun with that, hopefully too.
Maybe you become Florida man.
Maybe you too. That would be kind of insane too. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of opportunity just by setting the game in Florida for ridiculousness. We saw like I think that first trailer, there's some level of like I just think of I think it was a woman who's like covered in mud and there's like dirt rally stuff happening behind them. Like there's a whole lot of there's big city metropolitan stuff in Florida, but there's also a lot of just like backwater like hillbilly action going on.
Yeah. And if this is supposedly like the biggest map that they've ever done, like there's a lot of room for just really random things to come across. Yeah, something else I think that I want, which is more of a like this is a wish list, so this is definitely something I'm hoping for. And we won't really know until we get to see the game or the gameplay trailer, but like how good is this game graphically? Like, is it gonna look as realistic as they're showing in the cinematic trailers? Because I really am a sucker for a pretty game, and if they can like make it look as good as it does in gameplay as it is in the trailers so far, like that's a huge selling point.
I think it is. I like it. Just
will it Red Dead. Will it implode all of our PlayStations? Like
it will. It 100% will. There's no way this game's running at 60 frames per second on. I don't know. I don't think anything. Like I think that it's going to be 30 frames per second. It's going to look beautiful. Even like PS5 Pro, I guess they have the whatever PSSR, so they can add frames using AI if they want to. But I think it's going to look beautiful. think it's going to run good, but it's not going to be like 60 frames by any means.
Yeah, and I think like that's probably also part of the strategy. Like, I'm sure they were like trying to make this as run as well as it could. Like, they have been touting like Sony's been touting like GTA 6 plays
Plays
best
best
on
on
PlayStation,
PlayStation. I
which
don't
is
know if you saw
interesting.
the PlayStation Store icon on your phone, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
GTA 6
changed.
themed right now. And if you turn
That's
on your
the thing.
PlayStation, the first thing you see is GTA 6.
It's everywhere. So it's like a crazy, yeah, it seems like some crazy partnerships going on there. But I just like have to imagine that like, okay, yeah, we're gonna target 30 frames for this like release, and then when the eventual PS6 does come out, then it's like, okay, now we can release this 60 frames per second like
For
version of the game.
$2,500, you can play GTA 6 at 60 frames per second.
Exactly, yeah, that's what we're gonna be at.
You're going to have no food in your home, and the world is going to be falling apart around you, but you'll be able to play GTA 6 at buttery smooth frame rates, unlike ever
But
before.
you can scroll reels in GTA 6 at 60 frames per second, and that's all that
Exactly,
counts.
as you've always dreamed of.
They'll link it to PSVR 2 to try and actually sell that, and then it'll be like Ready Player One.
Oh my god, yeah. That's how they get us. Oh man. Yeah.
Any other wishlist items?
The only one I had down here is this. It's kind of like um a more minor thing, but GTA and Red Dead have always had like the wanted kind of system, where it's like you do a crime and then your wanted level kind of increases. I think it'd be kind of cool if this system was a little bit more dynamic in GTA 6. Like, typically how it's worked is like you beat someone up on the street, and then instantly it's like 1 star wanted level, and then it increases from there as you continue to do more crimes. I think it'd be cool if like if you did things in secret, like you a bit more sneaky with like the things you were doing, maybe like it doesn't impact your wanted level as much. Or like you kind of alluding to, Lauren, if there is that social media aspect, like maybe that plays into a part of like how your wanted level progresses as the game kind of goes on. I think just like ways of making that feel like less. I mean, it's still very gamey at the end of the day, but more of like there's a little bit more kind of like strategy to like trying to keep your wanted level in a certain position based on like how you act in the game.
Yeah, I think that that makes total sense. Adding some level of like dynamic reputation system could be fun. I'm a sucker. Like, I've always liked the pretty stilted wanted stuff, just because how else are you supposed to have sleepover parties where you just pass the controller back and forth, seeing how many stars you can get until you die, and then passing it off to your friend next to you? But
Yeah.
there is definitely ways that they could make it feel like more of a living, breathing world in that sense. Like, oh, can I get away with something if a police officer or anything doesn't see it happen, or I get rid of all of the witnesses? Can I play around with that? Because there is like that is ultimately a big part of this game, is getting into those situations.
Yeah, I definitely think that's where they'll. I just think that they will just bring in social media, and that's going to be this evolution of it. Something else that I mean, I don't really know how this works in GTA because my only Rockstar games are like been Red Dead Redemption. And obviously, like modes of travel in that game are like old timey. It's like you have a horse, you have different types of horses that can do different things, and you can have like carriages and stuff. But like vehicles are going to be a big thing in GTA 6. We've already seen like hinted like some of the custom cars that you can get, and there will definitely be a lot of wish fulfillment in like picking your dream car and decking it out and stuff like that. But I want to dream a little bigger, and I don't know if they've already done this in previous GTA games, but I want to be able to like fly a helicopter around and like or pick up a small plane and use that to get around. Like cars, cool, but yeah, how diverse are the options of transport going to be here?
You can, Lauren, you can do all of that. GTA 5 went really big, but helicopters have been around for a bit.
Okay, great.
Small planes were around for a bit, but GTA 5, you could like, oh, there's a military base, I'm gonna sneak on and steal like a fighter jet, or like you could
Sick.
fly a passenger plane. Yeah, basically anything, any vehicle you could see on the map, boat, light-wise, or car, you could drive it.
Yeah, and it's teased on the cover art, right? Like there's a helicopter on
Yep.
the cover. So like I can almost guarantee that they're going to bring that over here too.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Wii Sports Resort, but way more just like
It's gonna be like
chaotic.
Wii Sports Resort. We're the only podcast in the world that's ever gonna say that.
I'm wearing a Wii U shirt. What do you want from me, man? Like,
So then what's the new thing, right? Like
Yeah.
what's the cool thing that they have in this game? I
yeah.
mean, I was like, oh well, like a hoverboard would be cool, but we're not actually living in the future yet, so
No, but there was in I think GTA 3, there was a jetpack that has not been back in a while.
oh, like one of those
Okay.
water jetpacks would be fun.
Yeah,
Like
that
sort
would
of
be really
skim over the
cool.
water.
What about like
Cool.
a I don't know, I think there were tanks as well in 5. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
think, like, they've covered their bases pretty, like, vehicle-wise pretty well.
Maybe
Yeah.
like a wingsuit.
A wingsuit,
Oh, like just
that would be really
cause.
cool.
Yeah.
That would be really
All right.
cool.
Sure.
The big thing will be, like, something GTA 4 had a lot of trouble with, and they improved in GTA 5, but still wasn't perfect, was, yeah, you can drive everything, but, like, driving, especially in 4, like, was awful. Like, it felt like driving on ice. 5 felt a little bit better. Can we lock in? Can we make these cars feel like Forza Horizon 6 or like a racing game? Can they feel real to drive? Because like a lot of this, like in GTA 5, there's a whole side of that game that's just street racing that I have in all the years I've played, I've just completely avoided because driving I could never get it as as like perfect as I wanted it to be able to have enough control to be able to race.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of having all these vehicles if you don't actually want to be in them? So yeah, nailing that is probably very important.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that
Mhm.
they've improved upon it.
Give me lots of fun jumps to do. That's always fun. Let me take this Lamborghini up into the hills somewhere and drive it off a cliff. Oh, I'm so excited. November 19th. Anything else? Any other wish list items? We covered it.
I think that's it. I think it's GTA 6. Can't come soon enough.
Cannot come soon enough. Cannot come soon enough. A game that we're hoping to play one day, but games that we have been playing today is what we cover in our What We've Been Playing section. What have we been playing over the last week? Lauren, you kind of teed up at the beginning. You haven't really been playing much, but Tom, you went out, you saw another video game concert. You saw 2. I'm incredibly jealous of them. Tell everyone who's listening at home what it was, how it went, and I don't know. Would you go again? Would you do it?
Yeah, so I went to the Game Music Festival this as the time of recording yesterday, held at the South Bank Centre here in London, and there were basically a couple shows that they were doing in terms of like performances with an orchestra playing music from games. They also had a bunch of talks as well with some of the kind of people involved. Austin Wintry did a talk, obviously composer of Journey, and also co-composer of Hades 2, and a bunch of other people also there as well. They also had a Diablo one, Diablo kind of orchestra performance that I didn't go to, but I did go to the Hades Ballads of the Underworld performance, and I also went to the Persona Grooves performance. They were kind of spaced out weirdly. Like Hades was in the afternoon, and then Persona was in the evening, so I like had to go and come back and whatever. But yeah, I will say up top, I thought these were a lot of fun, but I do have some thoughts about them that I want to get into. So first of all, going into it, I knew that there was going to be a merch line. Because at these events, there's always like a really long line for the merch. But all I really wanted was like a program for each of the kind of performances. And when I tell you, I lined up, I think at 12:20. The performance for Hades started at 1:30. I got to like 4 people before the front of the line, and they were like, "Sorry guys, we're actually closing the merch store. You're gonna have to come back after the show." And I was like, oh, all I want is like some programs. And the most annoying part of that was the like everyone got turned away. I look behind me, other people are just running up to the thing and they're letting them buy the stuff. So it's like, well, what was the point of that? So that was kind of annoying. But moving on to the actual performances, Hades. I like, as I said, I thought these were a lot of fun and they were good, but I was a little underwhelmed with the Hades one. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I'll start off with the really good stuff. First of all, they did a lot of vocal tracks, which I thought was amazing. They brought out Aaron Yvette, who was the original voice of Scylla. in the game, and the Sirens vocalists as well, and they sung Coral Crown and a bunch of the other like songs from the game, and it sounded like incredible. Like I had chills all through me. Like it was truly like really special. They also had a bunch of other vocal performances from the second and first game as well. But where I think the performance slightly it faltered for me is that I was listening to it and I just wasn't connecting to the music. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, why am I just not vibing with it? Everyone was like performing like top of their game, like the orchestra themselves was amazing, but I just wasn't. The music didn't sound as it was, and I think it's because a lot of the sounds that you typically hear in like Hades soundtracks weren't really there. Um, the electric guitar is like a big part of the Hades soundtrack, and I know it's like an orchestra or whatever. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. But there's also like a bunch of other weird kind of like um, just sounds that they use in the Hades soundtrack, and they weren't really there. So like, I was listening to these songs, and I was like, I just don't really recognize any of them. And I listened back to the songs afterwards, and I was like, I do know these songs, but why they just sound. There was a dissonance, which I found kind of strange, and it was even weirder because they play like Karen's theme, like the Boatman, where you purchase a bunch of stuff, and that was instantly like recognizable because they were using the same kind of sounds as in the original song, and I don't know, I just felt a little bit underwhelmed. There is a performance like or there's like a live recording of the show if you want to check it out. Maybe I'll listen back to it and maybe change my mind a little bit. You can be the judge. But yeah, I unfortunately I was a bit kind of like, I'm not sure about this, but I will say like the vocal performance alone kind of sold the show for me. Like that was worth it enough to see it. So that was great. But then in the evening, I went and saw the Persona one, and that was incredible. They mostly were playing like Persona 5 songs. It was kind of billed as a 3, 4, and 5 kind of showing, but it really just felt like a jazz concert. Where I thought that the Hades one was a bit kind of like lacking in certain areas, they went like full force with everything. For the Persona one, I was worried that they wouldn't have vocalists because there are a lot of tracks from the games where they have versions that they don't have the vocals, but they did, and they sounded incredible. This one, they had a guitar, they had electric guitars and a bass, and like so I was confused even more. So it's like, well, if they could do it for this one, why didn't they do that for the Hades ones? So that was kind of like, oh man. But regardless, they played like all the songs that I really wanted them to play. Last Surprise was obviously incredible. They added like a flute to it. It just sounded amazing. Beneath the Mask, I didn't really expect them to play because it's quite an understated song, but they did this really jazzed, like up tempo version of it, and it sounded amazing. I should also mention that like the original like composer Shoji Meguro, for Persona, he was at the show, and not only that, he played in the orchestra with them. Like he was on guitar and fully there with them, and it was just like it was incredible. Like the highlight from the show, but for both shows, the violins killing it. I love a good violin, so that was nice to see. But yeah, like overall, I think a really good time. I also will say after the show, I queued up again, and I got to the very like front of the line, and they were like, "Guys, we're gonna close in like 10 minutes." I was like, "Oh god, is it gonna happen again?" But luckily, I did get programs, so like my video is probably very laggy right now, but like I did get the Hades program, and I also got the Persona one. So all was not for loss, but yeah, overall, like if you have the opportunity to go to one of these things in the future, absolutely do. They're like such a blast. Like just so much fun, like so much enthusiasm from fans. Like particularly in the Persona one, people were like constantly doing standing ovations. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, just like a lot of fun, and yeah, I can't wait to go to more video game concerts in the future.
I'm still so jealous. You're so lucky. I want to live
I
somewhere
wish
that
you guys
does
could've come.
these
Yeah.
sort of things. Yeah, I need to come to London and check all that out because that sounds
Honestly.
absolutely amazing. What I've been playing, I beat 007 First Light. I didn't really mention it on the show. It's been about a week or so since I beat it. My thoughts stand from the first time we talked. It's a great James Bond simulator. It's so much fun. But the way that this game ends, it comes to what feels like a natural conclusion, and then it goes on for a few more hours after. And that chunk in a lesser game would be like, oh my gosh, like we should have ended back there. That's where it really kicks up into like high gear, and it's like, oh, we are doing the most James Bond stuff. And it ends on a very exciting note where I can't wait to see what they do next, because this is definitely the beginning of a new James Bond saga. They tee up some really fun things. It ends in this satisfying way. It feels like the way that the end of a great James Bond movie feels. And I adored it. I highly recommend, whether you like Hitman, whether you like James Bond or not, if you just like action games, this will make you feel like a secret agent and will make you fall in love with James Bond. So shout out. Lauren, I can't wait for you to play it. Like, I cannot wait for you to play it, because this feels right up your alley. But yeah, James Bond First Light, definitely up there for my game of the year. Not sure if it's top of the list. Mixtape is still sitting up top, and Forza right there it's coming against its heels, but 007 is a fantastic game. That's what we've been playing. Let's get into the comment corner. Tom, any comments for the week?
No, it's nothing.
Nothing.
So
well, you can leave your comments and get featured in our comment corner every week here on the YouTube video or over on Spotify. This week's comment corner question of the week is, what is on your GTA 6 wish list? As I said, you can follow, or you can let us know here on YouTube, Spotify, podcast services around the globe. You can also follow the show. We are at Controller Club Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky, at Controller_Club on Twitter, and at Controller.Club on TikTok. If you're listening to the show, we do post a video version each and every week on the YouTube channel. So please head on over there, hit subscribe, ring the bell, thumbs up. It really helps us out. And wherever you're listening, rate and review us 5 stars. That helps us as well. Tom, where can people keep up with you, and what do you have going on in your life?
Yeah, you can find me at Tom Drouart, Instagram, Blue Sky, basically everywhere on the internet. Not much to promote other than, the concerts I went to. I guess I haven't really posted about those either. We weren't allowed to take any footage, so sorry if you wanted to see that. Like I said, you can watch the Hades 2 on online, I think. But yeah, Tom Drouart, you'll find me there.
Excellent. And Lauren, what about you?
You can follow me at lrouse19 on the socials, Blue Sky, Twitter, other places. Not much going on right now. We're in that sort of in-between period.
Great. And I'm Kleinfelt, or at the Kleinfelt, TheKleinFelt. My name is also Kleinfelt, if you just want to search me up and find me. I'm very easy to find. That's going to wrap up this episode of Controller Club. As always, thank you so much for listening and watching. Now, let's get gaming.